Okay, what we're going to do today is take a look at the latest daily build of Ubuntu Studio 20.10. This flavour of Ubuntu is the one I'm most interested in because they've just done a switch to KDE as opposed to XFCE. So after 20.04, every version is now going to be using KDE as a desktop environment, which I'm quite supportive of. So let's install it now onto disk. I've had a quick play around with it in a VM, and before we get started, actually, I just want to show you. For those of you who have got under 4 gig RAM, you won't be able to install it. So I tried to install it in a virtual machine with just 2 gig RAM just to have a look at, and it told me I do not have enough working memory, at least 4 gig is required. I don't think, in fact I know that you can install Ubuntu Studio 20.04 on 2 gig. So I'm going to do a little test in a couple of virtual machines to see if there's any difference in the RAM usage between both versions 20.04 and 20.10. just to see why this new 4 gig limit is required. However, if you're using Ubuntu Studio, I'm going to just imagine that you're not going to be using it on anything less than 4 gig RAM anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's close that and then get on with the installer. So it's using Calamares for the installer, version 3.2.20. Let's just choose our language, which is British English, and click next. Europe, London, that is correct. Let's just test our keyboard out, and that is all good. Right, I'm going to do a straight erase disk on this disk here, and then we're going to see how it's going to set it up. Right, so it's going to give us one EFI and then the rest on root. I'm going to imagine it might create a swap file or it might not. So let's go for that. Just type in our user accounts, and I'm going to log in automatically and click next. Right, let's just review our options. Time zone Europe, London, British English, English UK, yep, that's all good. And as I said, one EFI and then the rest is on root. Okay, cool. So let's install that now. And as you can see, the new look, KDE Plasma 5. So we're going to get into all of this once it's installed. So I'm going to pause the video here and we'll be back booting off disk. Okay, so we've just booted up, and as you can see, we're using the latest daily build of Ubuntu Studio 20.10, KDE Plasma version 5.18.5, and the kernel version is 5.4.0-26-low latency. So what we're going to quickly do before we have a look around at everything is because I'm going to want to install a couple of virtual machines now so we can do a direct comparison of the older version 20.04. So we're going to install Virt Manager, and while we're here we'll install a few other packages that I'm going to be using. So let's go for it. Let's get HTOP, let's get Steam, Virt Manager, HTOP, Steam, Tmux, and because, oh, is that a hot corner? Okay, we're going to have to get rid of that hot corner. Okay, we'll just do that for now, because as it's Studio, it comes with a lot of the packages that I'll use by default anyway. Right, let's let that do its business there. So let's sort that hot corner out first and foremost, because that is just going to wind me up throughout this video and beyond. So let's go on to, I think it's desktop behavior, isn't it? Screen edges, here we go. So this top left one, we don't want no action. Click apply. There you go, no more hot corners. Obviously, as we're now using Kden Live as opposed to XFCE, you get sort of the KDE system settings, which is actually a bit more comprehensive, I find, than the XFCE settings manager. So you get a lot more stuff that you can do here. One of the benefits of having KDE as your desktop environment as opposed to XFCE. We won't look too much at the default applications right now. Oh, let's see, you get KDE Connect, because what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 virtual machines, and then we're going to directly compare the changes of applications to the older version. So I'm going to do that in the background while we have a general look around. So let's just get that ready. So let's get Virtual Machine Manager up. And like I said in the beginning of this video, in the installer, we won't be able to do it on anything less than 4 gig RAM for the 20.10 version. I think I've downloaded them already. Groovy. What do we think of the code name, guys? Groovy Gorilla. I'm not 100% sold on it, to be honest with you. Let's just go for 20.04, screw it. Yep. Oh, so it at least detects that it needs that. I'm going to only do 1 core though, because I know we're recording and stuff and I don't want to go too crazy. Forward, yeah, leave it as a default. So it says that, but we're on 20.10, so we're just going to do that. And then we're going to click finish. and we're going to leave the network as a default. So if you're going to use this on a virtual machine, bear in mind that it will stay on this screen quite a lot. So if you hit enter, that will be the language select, and just leave it for a bit. It will eventually boot to the live environment. Right, where's my mouse gone? Mouse has disappeared on me. Okay, the mouse has literally disappeared. Okay, mouse has gone. There we go, the mouse is back. I'm not sure what happened there. Right, so this virtual machine looks like it's getting ready. So while it's doing that, let's create one for 20.04. Let's just go to Browse Local and get Ubuntu Studio 20.04. Open. Let's do the same one here. Just give it the 20.04 one. Forward. And we're going to do 2 gig on this one, which you can do 2 gig on the 20.04 one. Which is why I'm confused about the change in size of gig that's allowed, because I don't think KDE, I think these days KDE uses either on par with the amount of RAM or even a little bit less than what XFCE these days uses. We're going to go for 1 core on this one as well. Yep, let's get that installer ready to load up. Finish. Okay. Oh, that was a funny old lag. Right, let's get this installer going, and then I'm just going to leave this to install while we have a general look around, and then we can compare the applications. So I'm just going to zoom through this because we've already seen it. Let's call this one VM1 and call the other one VM2. Log in automatically. Done. Alright, let's get this one ready to go. Install Ubuntu Studio. So the installation process is obviously a bit different now as well. Did it give us an option to cancel the disk check? I don't think it did. Oh, let's put that on the other screen, isn't it? Right, we're going to leave that like that and open up some more workspaces. So if we go into the system settings now, and obviously KDE uses, I think they call them virtual desktops, don't they? So if we type in desktop, we get virtual desktops here. And we're going to click add and just get about 4 going. So it's put it there. I prefer it to the right, but we'll get into that in a moment. So let's jump into a new workspace now, and let's have a look around. So we haven't got the default, the new wallpapers yet for 20.10. So they'll do something with the Gorilla, which I think is the shining light in the name, because I think there's a lot you can do with the Gorilla. I'm not a massive fan of the name, but I think the wallpapers will get a good round of wallpapers. Let's just go for this wind chime thingy here. There you go. Right, let's jump back into here, and I'm just going to move my OBS window to there so I can see it in the other workspace. Okay, so let's sort out our taskbar. Let's go to edit panel, or our panel even. So I want this pager to be more over there, and then I want to show alternatives on here and just have the icon task like so. Cool. Usually I would install Latte Dock, and I might still do that a bit later on in this video, and then we'll just sort of get it looking all nice. So let's see what the theming is that we're using. Okay, so it's got the Ubuntu Studio theme, and it also has Studio Dark, Materia, and also the Breeze Light and Dark. So let's check out the dark version, because I prefer a dark theme. Ooh, looking good. Let's open up Dolphin and see how that looks. Okay, Dolphin is open. I like this dark theme. It looks like the icon theme is Papyrus or something like that. So let's open up icons now and just have a look at what the icons are. No, so we're using Ubuntu Studio Dark, but it does come with the Papyrus icon theming, which is pretty similar to what we've got now. So if we switch over to Papyrus Dark and click apply, it should, for the most part, look pretty much the same, which I do believe it does. Let's go back to Dark and leave it on dark. Okay, I'm not going to get a... I'll tell you what, let's get a new theme now. Let's just grab Arc Dark or Arc, but we won't install it just yet. We will install it, we just won't apply it just yet. We'll do the whole video with the default dark theme. Okay, let's see what I need to set some keyboard shortcuts up for my workspace switching. And it's opened it up on the other screen there. Where's KWIM? Let's just full screen that. So I just want Windows switch, workspace. Okay, switch one desktop to the left. Yes, I will reassign, and I will do the same for this one. And then we just want move window to the next desktop. Window 1 desktop to the left. Control Alt, we need to select this one here. And then we'll do the same for right. Done. So now we should be able to just go boom, boom, brilliant. Okay, so as you can see, the installer is very different from the newest version, which is now using Calamares. Continue. Right, that one's done, so we can just restart that now. And then we can have a look at the default applications and also the RAM usage of both systems and see how much it differs. But like I said, anyone that's using Ubuntu Studio on less than 4 gig RAM, you're not going to be doing too much anyway, to be honest with you. Well, not for what it's intended for anyway. I wonder if there will be people that complain though that they've been shut out of the Ubuntu Studio way of life. Okay, we'll leave that to do that's business. So let's see what we've got in our top right. So we have a show Windows desktop button, we have our clock, network, microphone, removable devices there, audio. Oh, get a nice little clipboard there as well. And we have the recording, and then we also have Get Plasma. Oh, we'll get the browser integration as well. Let's add that to Firefox. Add. Okay, cool. Right. Let's see how that install is coming on. I'm pretty sure we selected auto login, didn't we? Doesn't seem to have kept that. And also it didn't do it on the actual host that we are on either. I've just realised. Weird. So I'm just going to see if we did get a swap partition or swap file as well. Nope. No, so we don't have a swap partition whatsoever, or a swap file even, so we could probably make one with Fabricate, which we might do in a moment. So we're using 6 gig out of 32, but that's because we've got 2 virtual machines going, one with 2, one with 4, and then we've also got OBS running in the background there. Okay, I'm just going to sort out this console because it looks a bit ropey. So let's go to configure console. Don't need a menu bar because we're going to get a global menu at the top there. And then we will also install Latte Dock actually. Let's get that ready. So the way I like to use KDE is with a Latte Dock at the bottom and then the global menu at the top, and then I'll remove these Windows bars. You've probably seen it on the channel the way I set it up. Oh God. Alright, we'll sort that out in a moment. Let's just sort our profile out. Let's make a new default. Scrolling. So I always have a hidden scroll bar. I don't need the scroll bar to always be there. And then we're going to go to Appearance, Edit. I'm just going to get Blur Background and get a little bit of transparency. Maybe about 38 will do it. Okay, okay. Hopefully that will follow over. It has, but we still have the menu bar there. So if we go into Configure Console, Show Menu Bar, nope. There we go. That is the way I like my consoles to look. So let's quickly sort out this Latte Dock at the bottom here. I do not like an icon zoom. Let's go to Advanced. Okay, so we want to bring that delay down quite a bit as well. So let's go to Appearance. Size. So let's bring it down to about 28 and see how that looks. Bit too small. Let's try 32. 36. That'll be it. Right, I don't like a zoom, so let's bring that all the way down. So zoom is now gone, and I like to have a shadow as the background. Let's bring that up to about 95. Perfect. And it's got some nice rounded corners there as well in this theme, so that's pretty damn good. And we're going to remove this clock. we? Let's go on to the where is the remove clock thing? We won't worry too much about it if we can't find it right now. Okay, we won't worry too much about the clock. No, won't worry about that. Okay, let's see if those installers are done. No, that one's still going. So while that's going, let's install HTOP onto this virtual machine. So at the moment it's using 544, and again we've got no swap file on this one either. So if you want to swap on your studio, you might want to go ahead and make a swap partition, or you can just create a swap file as well. Okay, so obviously you're going to be using Dolphin now as your file manager. Keeps opening up on the other screen. Maybe I need to change the default there, primary display. So I actually, like I said in the beginning, I actually like the idea of using KDE as opposed to XFCE for a sort of studio based distribution, because it's got a bit more oomph to it, I find, and obviously Kdenlive will work better on KDE anyway, and that's obviously going to be installed in your video production. But like I said, we're going to go through all of the applications once that virtual machine is installed, because I want to see what's been taken away and what's been added, because I did see during my virtual machine little play around there was a little bit of a discrepancy here and there of what was actually installed. Let's grab a wallpaper quickly. I am quite excited though about what the new wallpapers are going to be looking like. I did quite like the last ones actually, the Fossil ones. I didn't think they were too bad. Right, let's just set that as our wallpaper. No right click to set as a wallpaper though, so let's go to configure desktop. Let's add an image. Is that the one? There it is. Just click apply. Done. So we've got more than one tab open. It's asking us if we want to quit. Don't know about you, but I think that looks pretty good actually. There's a bit of a shadow on our task, on our panel here. How do we change that? Okay, we won't worry about that for now. I think you can change that though. Right, let's go back into our last one. It's taken a while to install this 20.04 version, isn't it? Ah, there we go. Spoke too soon. Right, let's let that restart. So what we can now do is also remove these buttons up here, as we've got our dock at the bottom here. We don't really need them. So let's remove. Let's go to Edit Panel and remove Icons Only Task Manager. Right, what we're going to have to do is move a lot of this stuff around now. So let's go to Edit Panel. Let's get that all the way back there. Let's get the clock back there. And the system tray. And the pager. We're going to have to add a separator or something, I think. Otherwise, when we reboot, that will all do the same thing that just happened. So if we go into Edit Panel once more, add a spacer. There it is. And it's from there to there. So now what we can do is add a global menu. So let's go on to add widgets. Let's close that one down. There's our global menu there. Did we do it? I don't know if we did. Yeah, we did. It's there. So if we open up a fresh window of Dolphin, there we go. So we've now got our global menu appearing at the top there, which have all the same settings that you would have found in here, but now it gives you a bit more space. Okay, let's just press enter there. So as this is the latest version, you will also have Kdenlive, the latest version, which is 20.04.1, I do believe. It is indeed. So there is our Kdenlive. Let's pin that to our launcher, onto our dock. And let's open up Dolphin a moment and just get the little intro bit part ready that we done for the installer. Do believe it's that bit there. Switch the profile to 30. Cool, that's ready for when we need to edit. Let's just save that project as well. Save as. We're going to call it Ubuntu Studio. Well, that'll do. Videos. We was already in videos, wasn't we? Okay, right, let's now get over to the main part of this video, and we're going to compare RAM usage and what applications we have got. Let's just quickly install HTOP. I'm not going to worry about that update for now. I'll tell you what, it's only 11 meg, we will do it, because we're going to do a straight reboot on both of these anyway to get a more realistic look at what the boot up RAM is going to be like. Okay, let's do a reboot on here. Let's do the same on this one. Right, so I think our dock's looking pretty good. I think we will get some different icons though. So we're going to grab the ARC icons. So let's get new icons. Let's go for those. Okay, so this one's loaded up faster. Mind you, we've done the why it's not worked with the auto login, is it? Right, let's open up a terminal on both. So this one's using about 512 megabytes RAM. And this one's using 520, so it's in the 20s, now it's down to 11. It's literally the same, bar about 10 to 20 megabytes. So why there's that new sort of entry threshold on the amount of RAM you can actually install with, I don't know. But let's have a look at the difference in packages now. So like on other versions of Ubuntu and stuff, your software store on here is going to be different to what you're going to get on your KDE desktop. So if we go to software on here, oh, we do have this, no, it's Discover like I thought, yeah. So we have the Discover software store, which you'll find on most sort of KDE desktops, which is where you're going to install your packages. And then on here you have the sort of, I think this is GNOME software perhaps. Yeah, I do believe this is GNOME software. So straight away the way you're going to be installing packages is going to be quite a bit different. I actually think I prefer KDE Discover though. And then also, I think on here you get Synaptic. No, you don't. Do you get Muon on here as well? Huh. So on the new one, you do get the Muon package manager, and it doesn't seem to appear on here. Nope. Right, so we're going to go through a couple of the categories now and see what packages are different. So if we start with applications and go straight for audio production. So there's a lot in audio production, and let's just do a brief little look at it on here. So straight away, let's have a look at what we've got. So I'm going to skip that part and just go from here, and then we'll go through that in a moment as well. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so we've got Ardor 5, we've got Ardor 5, Master Bridge, don't know if I can see that on there. Yes I can, it's there, I do believe. Meter Bridge, sorry. So Elisa is our default music player now. Again, KDE sort of music player. You won't probably find Elisa on here. Nope. So this now comes with Elisa, Hydrogen, Kid Free, LMMS, Music Score. So LMMS is the same. Okay, so there appears to be quite a few differences there because there's some more entries on here. The one I'm the most interested in is going to be the video production. So let's have a look at that. Video production. Right, so we've still got Blender. We've still got this one here. We've got K3B on here. Can't see it on there, but it might be in a different sort of application category. So Kden Live, we have Kden Live, OBS Studio is there. No OpenShot on the new version, though it is on the older version. Let's just do a quick search in the... So no, so we now don't have OpenShot included. So we can install OpenShot because it we will install OpenShot actually on the host. Let's do that now. I don't tend to use OpenShot a lot, but every now and then, if I'm doing something small, I will use it here and there. Okay, so there's one thing that we've already seen that's not included in the newer version. So Voco screen doesn't appear here, but it's I'm gonna imagine it will be somewhere. There we go. So we do still have Voco screen. Let's just check the versions that we are now getting. So we're getting version 3.03 on here, and then on the older version 20.04 we're getting 2.5.0. So it's quite a big update there. Let's close that, and then let's also check out the graphic design. So let's go on to here and go on to graphic design. So Blender appears twice, so we've still got GIMP like we do on the old one. Synfig Studio is still there. Synfig Studio, My Paint, yeah, My Paint's still there. Pixel, Scribus is still there. Critter is also there. Inkscape is still there. So for the most part, it looks like a lot of it has carried over. There are a couple of things that aren't the same though. Right, I'm just going to check out the internet part, because this. So we do have KDE Connect also on the older version. I forgot all about that. Okay, so that's not something new that you will find in the KDE version Ubuntu 20.10 Studio. So let's go onto the internet one here for a moment and see what the differences are. Okay, so you now get Conversation, which is the KDE IRC client. KTorrent now as opposed to Transmission. Thunderbird is still your default. And there's no Pigeon on the new one. Okay, right, interesting. We're not going to worry about any others now. I just wanted to sort of mainly see what the RAM usage was like. So although the default usage was a little bit higher on KDE, we're now using less on the KDE version than we are on the XFCE version. So yeah, there's not really a lot in it in the sort of memory usage, so it does make you wonder why there is that new limit there. Let's close that. But like I said, I would never try and use Ubuntu Studio with anything less than 8 gig, to be honest with you. I'm just going to force these off now and delete them. Force off. Okay, let's delete these. I ain't going to need these anymore. Yep. And yep. So there's a few minor differences there, but obviously the main difference is going to be the desktop environment and how you use it. But for the most part, it's not that much different, but you can customize KDE a lot more than, well, I think you can, easily anyway, a lot more than what you can customize XFCE. But yeah, no, nice. I will do a full review of it once it's sort of had its proper release. At the moment, we are using the latest daily build, which was released yesterday. Let's just enable our arc icons, click apply. So it's not done it on the Latte dock yet. So what I'm going to do is do a reboot and see what the sort of default RAM usage is on this machine natively now that we've installed a few packages, and then we'll wrap the video up there. Okay, so I've also removed the clock there. For some reason, maybe I just didn't notice, but there is a remove thing like I thought there was. So clock is now gone. Right, we did get a quick RAM reading, so let's just open up this screenshot here. Obviously, I find that you're always going to get a bit more RAM usage when using it on sort of bare metal than you would on a VM. But as you can see, we are at 858 megabytes RAM out of 32. We did install a few additional packages though that weren't included in the base install. So let's get out of this. One thing to bear in mind, I had to do another restart because obviously I always forget that by default, most KDE sort of setups in their startup session have the desktop session to restore previous session, and what that does is opens up sort of any applications that you had running at the time of reboot, and I'm not a massive fan of that, so I always just go to start with an empty session just to start fresh. But that's been Ubuntu Studio 20.10, which now uses KDE as its desktop environment. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.